మరి నేను మన బెడ్రూమ్లో కూర్చుంటున్నా. So hello everyone, very good morning. I'm Karthikeya Kumar here from Hyderabad today. I'm happy to see you all for this particular session at this early morning. So I'm sure everyone must be very keen to know what is this forensic science all about, because I've been a part of many sessions, been a part of different technologies, and in my last 16 years of journey, as you have seen on the video, I've been interacting with various industry experts on different lines. The reason behind for doing all these activities is that I was always keen to know what are the updated technologies in the market and what technology is used in which particular sector and for what purpose. Today, when I look at the graduates who are passing out from various colleges, and when I keep interacting with them whenever I visit the colleges, the kind of skill set what a graduate is carrying today, I don't say everyone, but many of them, is not the one what the industry is looking for. Because when I particularly speak about this particular skill set, it's not about the general programming skill set what everybody is being taught in a college today. Looking at this pandemic situation because of COVID-19, now we are in a very troubling situation, I should say, because we had many experts earlier who spoke about this. We had people from great bodies who interacted with all of you on a various platforms. You must be knowing this. So when we look at the market today, the market is really looking out for people who are really skilled or really upskilled with the technologies that are needed for today's market trend. I don't say that C, Java are not in market anymore. They are really there. They are really there. But what is something beyond this? If you just know, if you are very good with C, or Java programming, absolutely good, undoubtedly. But where is it going to take you? Is this really going to take you somewhere where you are dreaming? Is it really going to help you to get the job that you dreamt about? So many say that no, sir. Because the last, so sorry, again I'm going to be here. So a very good morning. So as I was talking to all of you, I mean, like as I was as you were seeing, looking at my video. So when I look at different technologies in the market today, when I speak about various technologies, I found forensic science and cybersecurity to be one of the most interesting technology, rather the topic that should be discussed. Because when I speak about this particular topic, so I say that we have a lot of choices that have been coming up in the market today. Rather, I should say that we have been coming up with we have been coming up with different technologies. I think that there is some echo voice. Right. So now I would like to tell all of you, because before I start with the session or before I start with the discussion, okay, we have certain points to be discussed. So we'll start the discussion in another 2 to 3 minutes of time. So kindly bear with me. Well, a very good morning to everyone. This is Karthikeya Kumar from Hyderabad. First of all, let me thank Mr. Balaji from Perumal College of Engineering and Technology, and also Mr. Anil for coordinating to have this particular session today on forensic science. So there is a strong reason why I chose this particular topic today, because there are a lot of topics which I have been talking about since the last 25-30 days over Zoom and various other platforms. I have interacted with many students, many faculties, many corporates in the last 25 to 30 days. So when I look at all these aspects, Now, the reason why I chose this particular topic is very, very simple. When I look at the industry vertical today, as a consultant HR, as a person who has been there in the industry since 16 years as an HR, now when I look at this particular factor, the kind of graduation that we are getting today, I mean the kind of people who are graduating today, okay, are really good, undoubtedly, but how many are really skilled as per the market needs? That's the primary question here. When I speak about the market needs, when I say the market needs about this, I can definitely make sure that there are a lot of people whose skills are really good enough as per their graduation, but how far are they useful to the industry is the question here. Now, when I speak about the industry aspect, when I speak about the industry prospect, there are a lot of technologies that the industry verticals are looking for. Now, number one, I can say that this is going to be definitely a vertical which will help us to understand, more better in terms of having the next 10 years of career. Okay, so I'm going to start the session. It looks like we are facing some echo issues here. Kindly bear with me. I'm going to carry my headset that should reduce the echo because I'm just sitting in a room which is properly closed enough. Right, just kindly bear with me for a quick 1 minute. I'll get back. Well, I think this should actually reduce the problem of getting an echo at this point of time. This is what happens when we try to use different platforms for different types of deliveries. Now, this was, I mean, like, I hope I'm audible to everyone at this point of time. Is it clear? Before I start the session, I just wanted to check if it is really fine with you all. Are there any other problems? Like, is there still echo? Because I just wanted to confirm and then only I can start the session because once we start we cannot stop. I just wanted to continue that flow. So it looks like echo is there. I'm just thinking what exactly is happening. So let's wait for 2 minutes that the other audience are also joining us. So let's start exactly by 11:10. Right, so I'm going to talk to you all about, this session is completely going to help you to understand what exactly is forensic science all about and how exactly forensic science is going to help you to make a big career out of all these things. Because when I speak about forensic science, there is a vast scope of learning in this. Because when we speak about physical forensic, there is a difference. When we speak about cyber forensic, there is a huge difference. So before I start the session, let me talk to you all about one particular aspect here, which is very important. Of course, many of the speakers have spoken about this in the past. Many of the speakers have must have informed you about this. Upskilling or skilling is the most important aspect in today's generation. Looking at this pandemic situation of COVID, so we are not sure what is the next shape of industry. Of course, there are job opportunities, but when are they going to open? What extent is the job market, and how is the industries are looking at the freshers or the experienced? Because there is a huge technology disruption. Apart from this, there is also a threat that the job market may not boom for the next few months or few years. Let us not bother about all these things. Whenever the job market is ready, by then we should be ready. So, what are the skills that one should have before you enter the job market? Let me make it very simple before I start the session to each and every student. In fact, to all the faculty who are here in this particular session today, we actually have certain set of requirements or skill sets that should be met by the time we are getting into the industry. So if at all if I have to say that, now starting from the year one, like first year when you're in engineering, start learning some skills which really helps you to become a better speaker. Start using some skills which helps you to make a better writing expert. Learn those skills which are really helpful for you to be a good reader. There are a lot of skills, trust me. Every year you can learn a little bit of, like first year you can have some skills, and the second year you can learn certain skill sets. Because why I'm saying this is very simple, that when you speak about the skills, they're not something like a theoretical subject where you can learn in an overnight and produce it or deliver it the next day in any examination. This is something where it needs a regular thorough practice. I've been advising many students that you're supposed to have fair enough, good enough skills, because it doesn't matter how much percentage, okay, you have, or how much percentage of marks you have, okay, and it doesn't really matter how much percentage of marks you have in your degree, whether it is a BSc, BCom, BTech, anything, it doesn't matter. But when I speak about skills, how many are having these skills? I'll tell you why is it so important. As an HR in the past, I have interviewed hundreds of candidates. There are candidates whom I have rejected with 80%, 85%, and there are candidates whom we have selected with just 60-65%. The reason or the difference is very, very simple here. We are not just looking at the people who have big mark on their mark list. We are looking for the people, or the industry is looking for the people who can speak out how did they achieve those marks, how did they learn the things, what can they speak about themselves for at least 2 minutes. See, when we have achieved something, the world will be ready to listen to us. How did you achieve it? And if we are not in a position to explain how we achieved it, then there is no point of achieving something. It is not about just what you did, it's about how you did, and it's all about how you tell about it. So, when I look at the skill sets, you must be good at C, C++, Java, .NET, whatever has been taught in the college, maybe operating systems, or even you must have learned a bit of artificial intelligence or any latest technology. Now, there are two things that we need to do in this particular aspect. Number one, what are the industry technologies that we are learning today as a part of the requirement? And number two, how much knowledge we are gaining in a practical sense rather than theoretical sense. The reason why I'm saying this is, before I start the session, in the last 15-20 days, I have conducted more than 20 webinars on cybersecurity, soft skills, a lot of discussions. We had a lot of experts from various colleges across North India, South India, and next week we are doing a session with a university in Germany. Now, what are we trying to speak here? What we observed or what we were trying to speak is where exactly the student community is standing today. Is it really getting balanced to the industry requirements? Just with C, C++, Java, .NET, how much salary you are going to get? What sort of job or career you are going to make out of it? What is the existence in that career? How long can you live? With just basics of Java, .NET, how many years can we work? So, in this context, today I thought of discussing with all of you, because my specialization is cybersecurity, and in that I'm more interested towards cyber forensic. Very good morning, friends. This is Kumar again. Today we are going to discuss about forensic science. I'll be talking to you all, I'll be explaining you, I'll be helping you to understand what is this forensic science all about. What are the various cyber forensic or digital forensic methods we have, and what sort of careers can be made out of it, and what are the tools we use. I'll probably show you a demo of Wireshark, which is a networking tool where you keep monitoring what are the vulnerabilities or what are the aspects that happen on this particular using this Wireshark. Alright, so here it goes. We are starting the session. On the screen you see on the right side forensic science. So the entire definition of forensic science is actually shown in this particular image. So let's go ahead and see. Before we start discussing, there are two things. Now, why am I discussing about a general forensic science and a digital forensic science? Now, if you look at the screen, there are two things here. Number one is a normal thermometer, and the other one is a famous COVID or a digital thermometer you say these days, which is used in many places, which is just projected on the forehead and that will display the body temperature. Now, a doctor used to be a normal doctor in general, like where the people visit the hospital in person and get the treatment. During COVID, people started getting virtual treatments. They see the doctor online, they meet the doctor online, they get the medication, everything checked online and get it done. Policing. Police do the physical policing, they stand on the roads, they do traffic management, everything. But when it comes to digital policing, again there are a lot of methods. Investigation, physical investigation methods and digital investigation methods. Lab experts, people have been doing physically, even virtually also a lot of things are happening. Now why is this big difference? Why are we moving from a normal to a digital these days? Because the technology trend is as such where people are really expecting that to have. People are really expecting to make their works ease. It's not only about making the works ease, it's all about how you work in a very better and a smart way to make the tasks get cleared easily. Now let's start using this. Those who would like to become a police, many of us must have got the dream to be a police officer or rather an IPS. In fact, I have dreamed about being an IPS officer. Of course, I appeared for civils, but it did not happen. Okay, so there is a portal from our government, central government of India called Digital Police. If you dreamt of becoming a police, or if you are dreaming to be a police officer in the future, even though you cannot become a direct police officer with the department, you can be a police officer in a digital way, start working with the companies, or starting working with the government on a digital platform where you still protect the crime, the law and control the crime. So there are a lot of options. People, whenever they get the time, they can just go through and visit this digitalpolice.gov.in. What are the various things we get? Now, why is this meant? Because even when people are all moving towards smart policing, smart services, even police started doing smart policing, and that's when many activities are getting very easy. Everything is digital. If you look at the images, the doctors are using virtual technology. They are able to interact with the patients. Forensic, see on the right side of the screen, you see a lady monitoring the fingerprints. That's again on a digital pattern. At the bottom of the screen, you see DNA monitoring lab. Earlier it used to be a lot of microscopic, a lot of such huge equipments. But now it's all centralized into one particular device and everything is as simple as this. Now here comes the actual discussion. In general terms, what is forensic? So it's all a science that is actually applied to the law as well as to the criminal proceedings. Now why am I discussing about forensic science? Today, when you talk about police or law department, they are very much in need of this particular technology. So when there is a criminal activity happen, so the physical way they collect the evidences, the way they collect the clues, everything is being stored as a file, but everything has been in a normal process. But in this particular technology trend, how is it digitally going to help them? How quickly they are going to close this case or rather make it a better investigation is all important. So a general forensics is a subject that is really applied to the law as well as to the criminal proceedings in terms of many things. So it applies the knowledge and technology of science for the definition and enforcement of criminal and civil law. So this is very important because last before week we had a discussion with a criminal advisor, a lawyer, and also a cybersecurity advisor. We did a session on this. There were a lot of challenges in terms of technology for the police department as well as for the the courts. They're not able to clear a lot of cases just because the kind of crimes that are happening are most of them connected with the technologies. And how is that these courts are going to clear the cases is a big challenge. Now, what is the importance of evidence? See, evidence is something which primarily gives a report of what exactly has happened. It gives the information about at an incident location. So it gives the information of how this offense has happened and what sort of clues can be collected. Evidence is the means of arriving at the key issues. If you collect all the proper evidences, then it will be very easy for anyone to actually get to know the solution for a problem or to easily investigate the case. So how a case can be investigated? For some time I'll be talking to all of you in a police model or rather a court model, because when we can understand the basics of a normal forensic science, that's when we'll be able to understand the basics of a digital forensic science. Now, why am I speaking about all this again? There is a perception that many of the students, especially in engineering, let me be very clear in this. Today, the job market is looking for the people who are very good in interdisciplinary. You must be a person from the computer science background, but your services and technologies are needed in a system like court or a police department. Or for example, it must be needed in a hospital. Now, yesterday we had a discussion with one of the person who owns a hospital in Hyderabad in one of the corporate meeting. And this person asked me, Karthik, I would like to know some more about cyber security and data protection about our hospital information and also a lot of other details. Now, he asked me about, do you have any clue about how a hospital works? What are the things that we work with and what are the data that we take care? I said no. Now he said, if you have time, sit with us. We will help you first to know how a hospital works. What are the things you need to look at for protecting the data, like what sort of data we maintain, in what formats we store the data, and what sort of departments we have, what sort of people we work with. Unless or until I get to know the roots of the hospital or the structure, I cannot work with them in protecting their data, because I should know what type of people are working with them. Similarly, if you are from a computer science background, if some other body like a court or a police department is asking for your service, you should be understanding the minimum basics or the roots of that particular system into which you are going to work. That is very, very important. So, how is it we are going to prove a case if something happens? Evidence is the only thing that helps to, that is found at the incident scene where the offense has happened. Suspect, again, the way you interrogate the suspect, more evidences might come up. If you talk to the victim or their families, you will get more information. If you are able to properly collect all the evidences in one place, that is when you will be able to resolve an issue very clearly. This is something I am talking about, of physical evidence. Now, how is this going to be in a digital evidence? That is what we are going to see in the next slides. So what exactly happens in forensic science? So what do these people do? What is the forensic scientist is going to do? What all they do is they just take the samples collected at the scene of offense, and they analyze them in a forensic laboratory, as we have seen initially in the images. So they just collect all the clues from different locations at the scene of offense. Whatever they find suspicious, they collect all those information. The prime objective of that information reflects, what type of event that has occurred at the crime scene. So for example, if some robbery happened in a home, so what are the different evidences a clue team will collect? What are the different information that the department needs to clear the case as early as possible? So this is what, when I speak about this, again, it's an expertise. We cannot just collect everything, whatever we see at the crime scene. Whatever the possible things are there, which really can give us information, is what important. That's very, very, very skillful work. When you try to understand, when you can know how exactly it should be done, that is when we can get into it. So with a little ingenuity and some very high-tech equipment, forensic scientists can help law enforcement catch even williest perpetrator. There are certain crimes which I have seen in my past 10 years of experience. In fact, I was there at a lot of physical crime scene locations where the offense has happened in different manners. So when the clues team started collecting the information, I was very keenly observing, why are they collecting this? What is it they predict out of this information? What sort of analysis a forensic expert will do? And how is that information helping the court or police to investigate this case better? Because whenever some incident happens, any police people or a court, most of the time they get only half information from the victim or from the department at times. The reason being, we are not sure what exactly has happened, or we may not be confident of telling what exactly has been done. So instead of giving half information or not a clear information, it is always needed to produce a proper full-fledged information in front of the law and the police, so that it will help them to understand the case more better, easier, and in a comfortable way to investigate it and close it as early as possible. So whenever we try to speak something, let us make sure, whenever we try to deliver something, whenever we try to inform something to anyone, this is one of the skill set that is needed. Let us make it very clear, understandable, and catchy to every single person. We cannot say that whatever I give is correct. Now, when I say this, there are a lot of people who say, Karthik, I just collected the information, I just put it in front of you. In what way is it going to be useful for me? For example, I've been to a location where a robbery has happened. We have just collected some information from the clues team, and the clues team says, Karthik, I've just given you this information. You do whatever the analysis you want. I know what exactly I should do, but whatever the information has been provided to me, is it absolutely suiting the requirement or not? Will I be able to do the analysis or not? Many of the students say that, sir, because I've conducted mock interviews last before week for engineering students. Everyone was saying, sir, I want to be a data analyst, I want to be a Python expert, I want to be a crime data analyst. In fact, they have mentioned the same on their profiles. Now, when I said this, my first question was, how do you design a data? Then how do you understand the data? And then how do you analyze the data? Because if we don't know all these three answers, even in forensic, it is very hard time to do any job. This is all I'm talking about the general forensic. We are coming very soon to cyber forensic. Now, when we look at the different scopes in this scope of, the forensic science, these are the standard traditional things that have been happening in forensic science, like forensic odontology, DNA forensic biology, controlled substances, forensic toxicology, forensic anthropology. These are something which are a majority of the sciences oriented, the traditional ones. But when we speak about this generation one, impression and pattern evidence is the most important thing, which is again in digital mode, trace evidences, cyber forensic, ballistics. I don't know how many of you have understood or heard about ballistic report or ballistics. I'll explain you. In fact, I'll show you a couple of ballistic reports, how they look like. Now, why do we need a ballistic report here? That also I'll explain. Now, what do we get in cyber forensic? We are going to see here. So, simple cyber forensic involves the analysis of evidence found in computers and digital storage media like pen drives, hard disk, etc. Till now, we spoke about forensic science, which is a physical forensic. A robbery has happened in a house, a murder has happened at a place, some attempt has happened in a different location. Police and other people, the clues team have been there. They collected the evidence, they seized the location, they came back and they have the information. Now, when I speak about cyber forensic, this is something that happens in an invisible mode over cyber, or that means over online, which is a little tougher task to identify or predict who has done it. So what basically cyber forensic does, or where is it involved, is in terms of collecting the evidences in terms of pen drives, hard disk, etc. Today, for example, if some of the data has been stored from my computer, so like now I'm live on this computer, I don't know who has intruded into my computer. I don't know what sort of data has been copied from my computer. Now I found that something has been missing. Someone has deleted my information from my computer. So how that can be retrieved or how that can be identified? Who is going to do this? Many people have a perception that ethical hacking people and cyber forensic teams are the same. No, that's totally different. Ethical hacking, that's a totally, I should say, a kind of a dangerous thing. People learn ethical hacking, they keep ethics aside and they do hacking most of the times. But in cyber forensic, this is something which works with the clues or information or evidences they can retrieve from digital storage media or even from the physical location. Even if it is badly damaged, even if it is burnt out, even if it is trashed, they know how to get the clue out of it and they should be able to retrieve the data from that and they can identify what exactly has happened. So its major objective is identifying, preserving, recovering, analyzing and presenting facts and opinions about digital information. I remember way long back we had a case where it was related to one of our family friends. That was about a family disruption, like they had a lot of financial issues. So these people had some confidential details about their family background and their properties, what they hold. The head of the family has a lot of information in his laptop.
He just showed everything very clearly and safely. Now, one of their family members stolen that laptop. They had a hacker. They took out all the details about what all properties they have, and they just damaged the laptop physically, like to any extent. They just damaged, and the only mistake they have done, they just left the laptop thinking that the work is over, it is damaged, and they left it only at the same house where they robbed from. Now the police have come, the forensic team have come here. They collected the laptop. They saw that the screen is badly damaged, the keyboard is badly trashed, it is broken. In fact, the laptop is into two pieces, the front, I mean the top and bottom parts. Now, even at the edges, it is completely damaged. They just broke all the USB ports and everything. Now they felt that nothing can be retrieved now. They just made the laptop upside down, and they even damaged on the behind part. Everything is done. And trust me, it took only 4 days for the forensic expert to identify who logged in into that particular laptop, what all information has been carried out, from which network they have logged in, and what did they copy from that particular laptop, and where did they keep it. The one thing they have done is they have logged in from their mobile network. They have connected an external hard disk. They have transferred the data to someone else in North India, and they have just then damaged everything. Now, these forensic experts, they have collected all this information, they stored it in a special format, and the next week they have submitted to the court. They found that this particular person has done the activity. Now the biggest question is, how is that the forensic expert could identify who could do that? How do they know that this was the person who was there and who else were there with him? That is also a question. This is a part of mobile forensic. Now, how will I get to know that if a crime happens in my location at this point of time? How will police get to know who are all involved or who are all there at that particular crime scene? Now, there are simple fundamentals on this, friends. I'll explain you all of this now. Ballistics. Ballistics is a specialized forensic science that deals with the motion, behavior, dynamics, angular movement, and effects of projectiles such as bullets, rockets, missiles, bombs, etc. Many people have a perception that a ballistic report will be done only on guns. No, this is done across rockets, missiles, bombs. Even if you want to understand the projectile of a rocket, how, in what way it is traveling, and if it has failed, what was the reason behind it, what are the various latitudes and longitudes, what sort of information is there, everything can be found out. Let me try to show you one report on this, which is called a ballistic report. Yes, I hope everyone are able to see on the screen here. This is how a basic ballistic report looks like. This is from one of the laboratories who have prepared this ballistic report. Now, what does this ballistic report actually contains? Prepared for whom? When was the test conducted? Okay, on what contract? At what temperature and humidity? And test panel identification. What are the things that they have considered in this? What type of transparency, like what type of test panels and what type of test has been conducted here. Grade is not mentioned. And if you look at all these statistics, okay, they even conduct the pen test. There is no penetration here, but in few of the cases they conduct the pen test also, right? So this is in terms of a missile. So projectile, propellant, all these statistics. Now who will calculate all these things? It is a person who is trained on this, and the kind of salaries the people get in making these types of reports. See this, they also come up with different types of statistics according to that device. If you look at this, it's in a different language altogether, but still if you look at this, the kind of arms that they were using, what sort of is it a 3.5 mm, what sort of weight it has got, everything. It's all about, you just show them what is the device you want it to work on. You just show them what exactly you want the report about, a gun or the activity incident that happened, the bullet, is it a 3.5 mm or a 6 mm, or is it a 4 mm bullet, what is the size of the shell, everything. They just pull it from the scene of offense and they will be able to make a report. This is one of the study that happened on geodata. This is one of the case study. And let me be very clear, many of us, before I go with the further discussion, again I'm coming back to this, This particular topic I'm going to discuss with you. As I said, I need to tell you how a person will be identified. Now, where Karthik is sitting, if some incident happened in Karthik's location, and Karthik is very sure that many people might not be knowing where I'm sitting, I might be in imagination or a dream that people cannot identify. Now, how is that people are able to, I mean, the police department or forensic experts or the technology expert identify if a location, if at location X where Karthik is sitting, if a crime has happened, the first and foremost information we look for is the CC camera footage. If the CC camera footage is not available, if that is there, a lot of information is available, we analyze, we come to a conclusion that this person has committed the crime. If he is not there, then we collect. Now here comes the actual expert service. We'll speak with the service provider. We'll ask them in this particular location whose service is more active. For example, Airtel. Now we'll say at this scene of offense, what are the majority of the services that are running? Airtel, for example. Now we'll ask the Airtel team, get me all the mobile numbers which were active in this particular location of scene of offense. We'll get all the numbers in the next 2 to 3 kilometer radius. Now get me the data. Now I'll tell you how the data customization will be done. Now I collected huge amount of data. Now I've got about in the 2 kilometer radius, I've got around 1500 active mobiles numbers or day information. Now the instant location is in the radius of 2 kilometers. Now what is that I'm going to do next? There is no use of having such a bulk data. I'll reduce it to 1 kilometer. What am I doing with the rest of the 1 kilometer? I'm just analyzing till what time, I mean how many were active for a long time within that 1 kilometer radius. Very few, because people keep moving. Now I've reduced 1 kilometer, I've come within this 1 kilometer radius. Still I feel that there are about 5 to 600 mobiles inactive. Now again calculate how many are highly active in this particular zone. Now that has come to 500 meters. 500 meters is accuracy near to the crime scene. Now in this 500 meters location, 200 mobile phones were active. Now let us reduce it to 200 meters. In this 200 meters, how many mobiles are active? They say that 10 mobile phones were active in that particular location. Not accurate. I'm not happy with this data. Again, I'll come close. 100 meters location, surroundings, radius of this particular scene of offense. Here comes 5 mobiles which are highly active. Now the first question I will ask, for how long these mobiles have been at that particular location? For how long these mobiles have been active? They say that, sir, only 3 mobiles have been there for more than half an hour or 1 hour. What about the rest of the 2? They were just there for 5 minutes, that too not very close to this. They are 50 meters away from this. Now who are these 3 people? We don't know. Are they sure that they are there for more than 1 hour? Yes, sir. So even after the offense, were they there? Yes, sir. Now collect that data. To whom these 3 mobiles belong to? What network they belong to? What were they doing? Okay, what is the relationship with the person who was inside the house, or how are they connected with that scene of offense? This is how a pattern analysis will be done, and this is how you should know how to collect the data, understand the data, analyze the data, and produce the output. Many people do a blunder mistake in understanding the data. This is what happened, and more important thing, we think that the data whatever we submit online or we take into we produce on social media is not known to many people. Maybe they just see that, but in what way is it going to damage is a big question. Because the reason why I'm telling is, in cyber security, under cyber forensics, cyber security is also a very important aspect, because the kind of photographs we are taking, the kind of tagging we are doing, and the kind of publicity we are looking at is really damaging a lot of people. Now, for example, I'm going out of station. I publish on Facebook that I'm flying to Turkey. I'm flying to Las Vegas with my family. It's a family time. What information are we giving to the people? What information are we giving to the society? That nobody is at home. You can come down. You can take away everything. You must be feeling that it's a status or happiness you're sharing with people, but indirectly you're hinting someone that you can come and use my place. Now, if something happens here, whom does the forensic team question first? Whom does the evidence team question first? Only you. Who did the mistake? Why did you furnish that information? Who asked you to put it over social media? Many of the people without their knowledge or with their knowledge, they do the mistake and later part they feel that they did it because the crime has happened and they don't accept it. Now the similar case I'm going to show you. This happened in Russia with an army person. Now he started taking photographs. Basically, I've been at a couple of army places. I've been there in several bases. Now they're not allowed to take photographs or selfies or anything. Now this fellow has taken one photograph as a selfie and he has just added to Instagram account. He just didn't leave it by adding it. He started tagging the people. He started tagging the location. He started tagging whatever the possible data he can share on Instagram. Now everything has been fine. People started liking. Everything went on well. Now what was the threat that came up? Now when he was on duty, this guy moved from this military base to eastern Ukraine and then back to the base. He just traveled from Russia to Ukraine and then back from Ukraine to Russia. Now what is happening here? When this particular person has been moving, he is not moving all alone. Along with him, whatever the tagging he has done, the one who want to do the crime, he is able to get to know his movements, where and all he is moving, which location is he staying, when is he going to make it back. Because we just tend to share everything on social media, which is really a big thing. Like we don't know what sort of threats we are inviting inside. See, geotags such as those embedded in Shotkin's pictures are a form of locations metadata. So now the smartphones what we are using today, they send the timestamp. At 3:45 Karthik was in KPHP. By 4:30 he was in Amirpet. By 5 o'clock he was in Kachiguda. Every moment we get the data along with the timestamp. So when we are getting everything in that way, where is our security now? And if some crime happens, who is responsible? The one who has done all these things is a prime responsible person, and he was caught hold of because there was a lot of damage just because he did this. See, this is what it shows. He took over 150 pictures per month, and you have a treasure trove of data to pin down who, what, when, where details during an investigation. He took pictures at different locations, and all this information has been shared to the other enemies, or rather the ones who want to attack, and they got to know like, okay, this guy is moving from this location, so we can target him there, or when he is not there we can target the location. Please kindly, one simple suggestion friends, do not use your smartphones. Use your smartphones, but do not use them for any such activity where people will take an advantage of you or your location or your family. And second thing I would like to inform you before I go with the next discussion, because there are a lot of cybercrime issues I'm going to discuss. In recent days, there was a big trend called photo shoots, out of which the biggest one is photo challenge, saree challenge, hairstyle challenge, dressing challenge. 2 weeks back, we had a discussion with one of the legal advisor. Trust me, there was a company in Bangalore who collected all these saree challenge and dress challenge photographs from different portals, and they have completely morphed them and uploaded those photographs into a website which is a pornography website. And the people who saw them, if I'm not really wrong, this was published in Times of India Bangalore edition. I'll try to share the details. And this was published, and 3 people have attempted a suicide because they got to know that their pictures have been morphed. You take the photograph, you keep it in your phone, but why do we need to share it with everyone? Personal moments. Please be careful when we are using the smartphone. Don't leave a clue to someone who feels like, okay, I have an advantage here that I can do something. Do not let the world know what you are doing every time. Do not let the world know what you are trying to do in every aspect. And moreover, I would like to tell something very important before I go with the actual session further. Cybersecurity, in terms of cybersecurity, ethical hacking, forensic, all these things. I saw many sessions that have been happening where people were trained on this. That's absolutely good. But how many of them are really using it is a question in a proper way. We got hold of people who said they learned ethical hacking, they kept ethics aside and did a lot of hacking. They robbed somewhere around 5 lakh to 6 lakh of rupees of amount. The reason why I'm telling is ethical hacking or forensic is like a weapon. You cannot use a weapon without a proper license. You cannot learn, or even if you learn, you cannot apply it anywhere without proper authentication. Today, if I learn cyber forensic and if I'm using it somewhere, first question people will ask me, where are you working? If I'm working somewhere, it's proud. If not, I'm not working anywhere. What did you learn? Cyber forensic or ethical hacking? Where are you going to use it? I cannot answer that because I don't have any platform to exhibit that. Those who cannot speak, that means they are into some other illegal activity. They may not be using it for good. The same if you are working with a multinational company, by knowing just the basics of cybersecurity or forensic or ethical hacking. If someone asks you, you can say, I'm working as a cybersecurity specialist or ethical hacking expert with IBM, Tech Mahindra or some other company. What do? We preserve the data, we collect the data, we protect the data of the company. We are like the security for the company's data. That really gives a big thing. The reason why I'm telling is if you're learning something, make it for a productive purpose. Don't just learn it for some other misusage. When we look at a very basic forensic laboratory or even the anything, these are the common things that have been done in any laboratory till now in case of a physical crime. Now what exactly happens in a cyber, we are going to see. So till now we spoke about general forensic, we got to an introduction about cyber forensic. That and all is absolutely fine. Now what is that we are going to do with these forensic and what careers are we going to make out? Because it's always important to know before you get into something, because when we go to a movie, if we plan to go to a movie, we see the reviews. If we are going to someone's house, we get to know who are all there in the house so that we can take some fruits or something. Similarly, if you are joining a college, you take some reviews, you ask some known people, how is this college, how are the faculty, everything. Similarly, if you are getting into cyber forensic, no, you should actually know what is the meaning of forensic, where can you use it, what are the advantages of it, what are the various scopes in this forensic apart from the physical forensic, and how is it you can learn out of it. So now it goes here. Everyone have different dreams. Those who wants to be into police, as I said, they can now fulfill it in a highly legal manner. Now trust me, you just try to be a ethical hacking certified expert or a forensic certified expert or a digital forensic or network for. I'm not speaking about entire global forensic. You can be a master in one. You be a network forensic expert. You be a mobile forensic expert. You be a digital forensic expert. Okay, you be an application forensic expert. You be an ethical hacking expert. You be a cybersecurity advisor. If you really could not become a police, you be a technology police where you work with an organization, still be the one who is protecting the law and data. This is very much possible here. So what is that you are supposed to do? How can you get highly paid? How can you say that you are authenticated or authorized to use? How can you be legal in using all these security parameters or applications? Let us see one by one. So the only solution is you become a cybersecurity expert. When I say cybersecurity expert, it is something where you have a lot of things to learn. Unfortunately, many of the people know that when we say cybersecurity expert, the only factor majority of the people speak is I wanted to be an ethical hacking expert. That's a one word which is heard from many mouths. They say that I wanted to learn this, I wanted to be this, be that, blah blah blah. But why? There are a lot of things in this. You be a cybercrime analyst. You need not be a hacker. You be a cybercrime analyst. You be a cybercrime advisor. You be a digital network analyst. You be a mobile network analyst. You be a mobile forensic analyst. A lot of options. So let us see one by one what exactly you have. Now we'll split this into two things. What is cyber? What are forensic again? And then we'll see all together. Cyber in general, we say it's an online, a prefix used in a growing number of terms to describe new things that are being made possible by spread of computers. Anything that you do over a computer or a technology device is coming under this cyber category. Forensic, the scientific tests and techniques used in connection with the detection of crime. So now you're using the technology and that old traditional techniques and methodologies that come in together, and that's when you make a big dream come true as a cyber forensic expert. Discipline that combines elements of law and computer science to collect and analyze data from computer systems, mobiles, networks, communication systems, and storage devices in a way that is admissible in a court of law. Now, for example, how this is going to work? If someone comes to me and says, Karthik, my laptop, someone damaged my pen drive or hard disk. Now, my first question, did you use it or did you give it to someone? I gave it to someone. What data was there in it? Some of my personal data. Why did you give it? I thought that he will not damage this. Now, what was he expecting? He was looking out for some other information which he did not find, or rather, he copied. So, there is a way to probe in this and then pull out the information in a way that it helps us to analyze, understand, and clear the case in an easiest manner. In detail, this is what we just have discussed about cyber or computer forensic. This is other way called as cyber forensic. Forensic is also called as computer forensic. It's an application of forensic science that collects, process, and interpret digital evidence to help in criminal investigation. See, interpretation of data is always important. It is being done in various fields. Now, what are the various softwares that we use in data interpretation or data analysis? We have a lot of tools. A general data analysis can be done using Excel, SPSS, or Python. But when it comes to this kind of forensic, there are other tools which can be used to analyze and produce the outcomes, right? So now, number one. So what are the cyber forensic techniques include? Number one, cross-driven analysis that correlates data from multiple hard drives. Now, if a data has been copied or robbed from one particular device, from my laptop to another destination, someone has tried to rob the data and have done it actually. Now, how exactly it has happened? How did they get into my computer? How did they copy it? And how did they manage to ensure that I will not get to know that they were copying the data? And how much time they stood or they were there throughout for copying this information? And from which network did they copy this information? And to which location did they copy and paste the data? And where is that particular location? Or where is that particular hard drive located? Or is it done to a hard disk or an external hard disk or into a cloud? So there is a lot of analysis that needs to be done. It is not an easy task. Trust me, all these what I'm going to say, that the high paid jobs, the highest paid jobs, live analysis, which obtains data acquisitions before a PC is shut down. Today, if you wanted to see, I'll show you. We have been across this network, right? We have been across this live. At the end, I'll be showing you a tool called Wireshark, which helps you analyze for how much time I was on this network. What are the different packets that were coming into this? Okay, what was the analysis done on this and how a graph can be generated? Before a PC is shut down, we can still see, simple example, just press Ctrl or Delete and you click on the second tab which says processes. If you look at the process, it will give you an analysis like which particular activity has been running for how much of time, which has been on a high risk or which has been there on a high requirement, which were less used, which were highly used. So that helps to understand so which application is being highly considered or which is taking more of memory or RAM, and why. That's when you can also understand in case if your system is running slow. So as long as your system is on, you can get to know a lot of data. You can do a lot of analysis in terms of your computer, in terms of your computer hardware and the network to which you are connected. Deleted file recovery. We have a lot of software which costs a minimum of 2 to 3,000 rupees. But again, I'm advising you friends, do not download any such software which is properly not advised from online. Because there are many applications and software that are in the market today which says we recover your data. One simple common information that we need to remember, even from my end today, when I'm sharing something, now today I'm not sharing any information directly, but when I'm taking a photograph, posting on social media, when I'm sharing my slides and delivering a session, when I'm speaking to someone over a Zoom call, my data is not only just getting stored in my computer, it is parallelly getting stored in some third party system. Who is that? I don't know. Where they sit? I don't know. This is what happened because of the sari photo shoot challenge, smile challenge, water challenge, etc. When we are storing all our data into some third party server called Facebook, Instagram, we don't know how they will use it. Maybe these companies will not misuse, but there are particular websites which are exclusively meant to misuse the information. So do not download any such information. If you want to have an application which is for this deleted file recovery, because most of the time the instance happens on our computer, there are certain set of legal applications. You can probably check on Google. I'll try to put it on my personal website, all these details. You can identify what are the legal software that you can download. Detecting data theft using stochastic forensic. Stochastic process is a part of statistics. And when I speak about stochastic, even though I'm not a master in statistics, I know that That's a huge subject, and the kind of analysis people have been doing in the field of medicine and in the field of cyber. Because I regularly keep seeing this. My father being a statistician and my wife being a statistician. Now, we see a lot of crime statistics analysis being done by these two people. They keep getting a lot of data from various experts and also from various hospitals. And in fact, the kind of analysis they do, starting from the data designing, data understanding, the data analyzing, and then data producing, and the results, trust me, it is a very big job. And he has published a book on stochastic also, and which was there recently in the market. And I'm not an expert into stochastic forensic, but there is something very huge where you need to have the basic knowledge of statistics in terms of doing this. Concealing a file, message, image, or video with another file using steganography. Lot of techniques. If you get a photograph which is blurred or which is not clear, which has been damaged, there is a method, there is a tool which you can use, RStudio kind of, which you can use to clean that particular image and get the actual real image which is behind that, which was tried to damage, right? So the 5 major standard digital forensic phases, we have 5 phases in this. Number 1 will be policy and procedure development, assessment, acquisition, examination, reporting. If one would like to become a digital forensic expert, we have to make sure you know all these 5. Why? We'll see one by one. Policy and procedure development. Law enforcement and government agencies are hiring experienced cybersecurity experts to draw proper guidelines, policies, and procedures to be followed during computer forensic investigation, because data can be delicate and highly sensitive. Exactly, you need to be the one who prepare the policies. The government is really looking for experts who can sit with all this minimum knowledge, who can design some guidelines, who can come up with some policies to protect the data. Today, I'm not sure if how many of you have observed or known about this. Every single individual like me, you, and every one of our data is being sold out in market for a cost of 3,500 rupees. Where is the data security? Our data is really going out into the market. Karthik's number is available across hundreds of banks, hundreds of finance companies, hundreds of ad markets, where every day I get calls. Everyone will get a call. They don't even know your name. They say, we are giving personal loan, would you like to take the loan? If you say yes, may I get your name? How is that they are getting to know about your details? How is that they are getting to know your information? So even though all these policy procedures are in place already, so how is that they are still getting it? How is the law broken there? That is something we don't speak right now, but still, very frequently, every 3-4 months, these experts sit together, they study the market, they study the risks, and they are exclusively paid to modify the guidelines, to prepare the policies, procedures, and ensure the data what a cyber forensic expert is collecting in terms of a crime is highly protective, because it's a sensitive data. So if you're becoming a cyber forensic expert or a cyber security expert, the first career option is you can be a policy and procedure consultant for a courts and police department, or rather the government, in guiding them or advising them, in advising with proper guidelines, procedures, and policies. You can keep this in mind. You can be a good expert or a consultant. Trust me, it makes a lot of money. Evidence assessment. If you want to be into this, what do you need to do? It's a critical part of digital forensic, as it provides a clear understanding of the case details and includes examining hard drives, emails, blah blah blah, and other digital archives for digital evidence linking someone to crime. Now, one of my family member had a problem, so they just there was a call for them. Someone was pranking on the call. They were using some abusive language. They were just trying to bluff the person, and I got to know about this. So I was parallelly on the call. I heard to the recording which was very abusive. Then I heard the call. Now that's when I sat with my team. I started analyzing. Now where from did this call come? Why is he doing it so many times? And what is his intention behind it? Who is this person? What are his identities? All this information has been collected and kept very confidential. So before I go and approach that particular person in terms of this particular crime, I need to do a lot of assessments. Is this really with an intention, or is it a bluffing one, or is it a prank? So what are the platforms he's using? how many mobile numbers he has. So similarly, we have done a lot of things, and finally, when he was on the call, we could catch hold of him, and he was he was just sent behind the bars. The investigators should also preserve the acquired evidence properly. Nowadays, when we look at this mobile phone, many of us, while handling this, will drop it down, and trust me, it gets damaged everywhere. If you are a normal human being, when we cannot handle our secured smartphone in a proper way, and if we become a cyber forensic expert, trust me how safely you should secure the device. You're not supposed to leave the device anywhere. And let me be very clear for you how the crimes will happen. How the crimes will happen. There was a crime in olden days. I mean, I'm talking about 7 8 years back. There were these crimes. People used to go to shops for recharging. People used to go write their numbers and say, Anna, get this recharged. So when the number is given, there were certain set of people who were marking some numbers of girls because they come to the shop, so they look at the girl, they mark the number, and they started harassing the girls. The first clue what they have there is our number and the person physically at the shop. So when the crime happened, this was not the first clue for us. The first clue was the intention of crime, which happened from which location. So we got to know that this crime happened to her in Hyderabad. Now the second mean in Tirupati. The second thing is, where did you go? The question what we asked, where did you go yesterday, day before yesterday, in the last 1 week? They said nowhere. Now that was, since it was a generation of recharges. Now we took the number, we tracked, and we found that the number has come from a particular location. And when we investigated, we got to know that this belongs to a mobile shop. So what we said, we asked the lady or the girl. I asked them, okay, where did you drop your mobile number? She said, I went to a shop and dropped my mobile number. Now why did you drop it there? For recharge. That's the prime clue what we had. Since the girl went there in person and gave the number, that's when they attempted this crime. That was a physical one. Now how cyber crimes are happening, how a person's number is going out, you don't know into which group you are entering as a member, you don't know into which social media you are entering as a member, you post every single information of yours, and that's when you are inviting the crimes to happen. So evidence assessment is very crucial. Now you need to do a lot of assessment, you need to understand the case completely and examine whatever the information that you can capture in a very careful manner. Do not miss out on even a single crime. Trust me, this needs a lot of patience. If you sit in front of a hard drive which is badly burnt out, which has valid hundreds and thousands of information relevant to a bank or relevant to some family financial issue, you don't know how many hours you sit in front of that to clear that burnt hard disk, open that completely, okay, take out every single component and verify what component can help you to get reconnected to another device as an external hard disk. And once you connect it, what is there inside us? Is it really active, or is it deleted in case how that data should be retrieved? So we need a lot of patience to be into evidence assessment again. The third stage, evidence acquisition. During this, the computer forensic investigator are subjected to follow policies dedicated to preserving the integrity of potential evidence. This step should be completed carefully and legally, as the documented evidence are crucial in proceedings of a court case. Earlier this used to be called a photograph. They take the photograph at the scene of offense. When they're talking to the family members at a crime of offense, they take evidences of a video and everything. Now, how is it happening in this case? If an incident happened in a location, we collect the CC camera footages, we collect all the information from this, we got everything. Now how safely you are keeping that data so that you can produce it the same way where the court will be able to understand those proceedings and take it forward. Evidence examination. Once you acquire the data, the analysis of digital evidence provides details like the date, time, location where the data were created, downloaded. It also helps investigators to find the connection between uploading of files from storage devices to a public network. Most of the time we stay in a railway station or a metro train, we connect to a public Wi-Fi network. It's a free network. Hundreds of people will get connected. Even there, we take selfies in the metro. We upload it to Facebook, Instagram, WeChat, that chat, etc., etc. Now, who is there on that particular network? We don't know. Who is capturing all this data, and then where are they using it? Simple example: if you have seen the movie of Singham, he will be coming to the opponent's industry. He'll be asking for a free Wi-Fi. I mean, the Wi-Fi password there. The office secretary will help him to get the Wi-Fi password. The moment he gets connected to the Wi-Fi, he has already a team on the back end who starts collecting all the server information with a method that the fellow will train the officer. And in a span of less than 20 minutes, he captures the entire information from those servers and he just comes out by removing that pen drive. And this activity is not known to them for next few days. So a lot of possibilities. So you should be very careful in terms of using a free Wi-Fi network. Don't use it the way you want it to. Now the analysis, what we do after acquiring the information in terms of what did the incident happen, at what time and which location, and all these will help the investigating team to actually have to identify the connection between the crime at the scene of offense and from which network it has happened. The last one is reporting. Lastly, the investigators need to report now I have collected, I have got the data, I was at the scene of offense, I examined the data, I understood the data, I acquired the data, I analyzed the data, and finally I should report it in the form of a proper format and submit it for the further proceedings in the court of law. It should have all the evidences that I'm trying to submit. Now, forensic analyst or forensic analysis refers to the detailed investigation for detecting and documenting the cause, reasons, culprits, etc. Forensic analysis is often linked with evidence to the court. Primarily, where is this used? If you are a forensic analyst, cyber forensic or digital forensic or a network forensic analyst, your majority of the work will be either in a complete multinational company, or if you are in the government with a police or law, you will have ample work to submit proper evidences in a proper digital format. See, overview of malware forensic. Malware is something which we have been listening since many years. So malware forensic has become more significant with the cybercrime community, causing destruction of technology, retail and financial institutions. These days there was a discussion. Many people were asking me. In fact, we had sessions with the doctors. The doctors were worried to use Zoom technology. Because 3 months back in Germany, when in a university, a class was conducted using Zoom, and this entire Zoom session was played after a week in a different university with same people. And the people were shocked to know how did this happen, because the university authorities did not upload it anywhere. They did not give it to any student. They just delivered the session. It was not shared to anyone. Then how did it go? Let me make it very clear here. We have a lot of such applications which intrude into our computer and which cannot be seen with our eyes, which are not clearly visible, but still they capture all the information. For example, application security can be done with a lot of antivirus, updated legal antivirus and licensed operating system. Browser security can be done with all the settings being updated and adjusted and monitored. But even though you have high-end application security and browser security, how is your data still going out? I had a couple of my sessions being played by someone in another session where people told me, Karthik, we have seen your session today. I did not share them. When I got to know and when I identified, the simple thing is, they're not getting into your application, they're not getting into your browser, but they're directly recording the entire screenshot. They're recording the entire activity that happens on this particular screen. Usually this screenshot recording is used in companies in a legal pattern. Every company will have this application which is installed in a computer where an employee cannot see that, but the actual team sitting behind will be monitoring which person is sitting for how much time on Facebook, Google or any other particular website, or how much time they are working. If they found someone is really focusing more time on Facebook, they'll get an invitation from their higher level. But here it is being done in an illegal manner. Please kindly ensure, if you are giving your AnyDesk access to someone or TeamViewer access to someone, give it to those whom you trust and rely on. Do not give it to every single person. If they really want to help you, you say, you give me the access, I will get into your computer, and then I will copy the things, or I'll copy my stuff into your computer, because then you will get to know to see what sort of applications he has in his computer. So cybercrime can bring in danger to private and governmental organizations, and malware is a commonly used tool by cybercriminals for installing things such as worms, trojans, and botnets to the infected device. Last before week, we had a session on cybersecurity where we were practically demonstrating certain things. In that, one person asked me, "Sir, how does a Trojan look like? What sort of damage will a Trojan do?" Trojan is something, we heard the story of a Trojan horse. It is similar to that. This particular Trojan virus is not a small thing. This has been there since many, many years. So I know which application will be affected with the Trojan virus. I have found certain applications which have got, and my antivirus, which is a licensed one, can really identify what sort of virus is coming down because of that application. So I found one tool which can bring in Trojan virus to my computer. So I said, okay boss, I'm going to do this at the end of the session, and I'll tell you what will happen. So the entire session has been completed. I told that person and everyone that keep watching. I'm downloading one application, and if I run this application, what is going to happen, I'll tell you. So while I was downloading, they found that my antivirus was prompting me, if you download this, it will harm your computer. There is a virus found called trojan.texd14, texd14. Now I still said yes to that. I still said yes. Now this is the first stage. Now the person started saying, sir, don't do that. It will harm your computer. I said, it's fine, no problem, let it be. Now I downloaded that Trojan. Now the last statement I told them, now if I execute this file, you will not be able to see me. You will not be able to listen to me, because the moment I run this, I don't know what happens to my computer. So they said no, but I still said, I'll show you. Now what I did, before I run that program, I made everyone to get out of that particular login. I switched to my other laptop from desktop. This was done on desktop. I switched to my laptop. I opened the Zoom. I made everything ready. I kept the camera ready on my laptop. Now I projected the camera towards the desktop so that every participant could see that. When I executed the program, in between the installation, there was an error. I said okay. Immediately my system got shut down. My system did not execute anymore. I turned on the system. It said, your system cannot be turned on. Diagnose portal. It came to a diagnose portal. I ran the diagnostics. It did not work. I tried a couple of times. I tried safe mode. It did not work. Finally, I got to know that my system has been completely damaged by Trojan. Now what happened to my computer? It's not just the operating system has gone. So I went into the booting options. I checked the drive devices. Every device was there earlier. Now there was only one device detected, and the entire data from other partitions is also deleted. Even partitions were not there. That much damage has happened to my computer. Of course, I know how to bring it back, so I could bring it back in 2 days, and the rest of all my data is safe on my computer. So it's like Trojans, worms. When you're getting this kind of virus, you will see a small insect crawling on your side screen. It really crawls on the left side of your screen. That means you should understand it's not a screensaver. It is a kind of virus that's already there in your computer. So this is one threat. Now we have different tools that we use for this. So forensic tools, different techniques and tools that we can use. Digital forensic is something. These techniques include identification and of information, preservation, recovery, as we have already seen in terms of investigation in the lines of digital forensic standards. Mobile device forensic, this is a second one. So the digital forensic is all about a desktop or a laptop which you deal with. Mobile device forensic is about where you deal with a mobile device. Now for example, if my mobile, or in case my iPod has been hacked, and if any data has been, there was a security breach, and the data has been taken out from this particular device. So what are the information that I need to collect from this? What are the tools I need to use in order to collect the data from this device, or what happened in this particular device? So mobile device forensic refers to that branch of digital forensic involves in evidence found on mobile devices. How can I find evidences on this device? This just looks like very small iPod. Unless or I get into this, I get to know what sort of I need to get into one of the network. I should get connected to a network, and then I should start analyzing with a tool like who all got connected into this particular device, through which particular network, from which location. There are a lot of analysis that needs to be done again, right? So this branch of forensics suddenly gained popularity with smartphones, making it one of the most recent divisions in digital forensic. Every day, even today, trust me, there are more than 250 plus mobile hacking cases. We don't know whose mobile is getting hacked, because the moment I'll show you, whenever there is a chance, I'll see if I can give you a live example. Here is something called a Play Store. I'm not sure how many of you can clearly see this. We find ample games, ample games. Apart from these games, we find different applications, dating apps, some other applications which says, say for example, English speaking. Okay. Now you see, if I say English speaking app, there are officially certain apps from trusted websites or trusted companies. But apart from that, you see hundreds of apps here. Lot many. Now which app is secured? When you look at the reviews, everything is around a 2 or 3 or a minimum 3.5. Does that review help us to understand this? No. What is it you are supposed to do? Look for a trustable, reliable company application which has a real branding. For example, if you want to learn English, I suggest my trainees to use the Hindu Step, STEP, because that has been there since many years. It helped many people to learn English. If you download all these unwanted apps from this, you don't know who is intruding into your particular device and who is doing what with your device. All of a sudden, one day your mobile might die. And who is responsible for it? Who will care for it? And one expert will then say, you downloaded this particular app because of which now your device has been hacked. Then you will feel I shouldn't have done it. So please make sure you are using trustable apps only. Do not download anything, dating apps or TikToks or any such app where your information is passed on to someone who is unknown in an unsecured pattern. Software forensic, as I said initially, application oriented. Software forensic determines whether software has been stolen. This is performed by analyzing and comparing a source code and then detecting any possible correlation. Over the past few years, software forensic has been used in several high-profile intellectual property litigations. Today, you name a software which is a truly legally licensed one. We have such a technology in our country where they can hack it, pack it, and give it to you in a very less price. As well, if an application has been hacked, for example, this was the issue with the Zoom. People used to say someone modified the Zoom application and they're stealing their data. If that has really happened, why all the organizations are still on Zoom? Why many companies are still using Zoom? If that has really happened, the source code must have been changed. If the source code was changed, if that was a real case, Zoom would have stopped working. So whoever is trying to steal the data or the software application, they primarily modify the source code. Now, how do they modify the source code? That's a tool. I mean, there are a lot of drag and drop tools these days, but for these kind of forensic tools, most of the time we use Ubuntu or Linux. It is not possible for a common man to use on a Windows platform. Memory forensic, when sophisticated attacks occur, data existing in the hard drive could either be permanently erased or no data is left on the hard drive, leaving almost no evidence for a forensic investigation. This is what happened with me because of Trojan. I did not save some information. I was just practically demonstrating. I forgot the data that I was saving on the notepad. I did not save it. Now when I retrieved, that data did not come because that was not saved. Now how do I get to know about it? Even the forensic person cannot help with me. I mean, they cannot help me in retrieving that particular data. So memory forensic is the process of searching for possible artifacts on the computer's memory. RAM, ROM, we have two things in a computer. So one is a temporary memory, the other is a memory which keeps you focused as long as the computer running live. In case if it is switched off and turned on, If it is not saved, the data is gone erased. You cannot get it back. So it's always good to save the data. In case if it is not done, or in case if it is deleted in such a way. See, if a data is deleted, even in one of the finest worst ways, it can be deleted, including using the root folders. But that takes ample time to recover the data. Overall, see, the computer forensic has all these branches, like you can be a network forensic expert, web forensic expert, data forensic expert, proactive forensic, email forensic, enterprise, cyber. Enterprise is again with respect to a particular organization, you can be that. Cyber forensic, digital forensic, system forensic. Web forensic is one of the most needed today, because making a website is not a big deal. It's a matter of half an hour, 1 hour these days for anyone. Ready-made tools are there, but intruding into someone's website and damaging is also easy. Now, what are the tools that you need to know to be a web forensic expert, to analyze, understand, and interpret the data in terms of that web hacking? How did the damage happen on that particular website? We have been seeing a lot of universities getting hacked, a lot of organizations getting hacked, their websites, I mean to say. The students getting into their websites, modifying the data. How is that they're able to do? That means the framework that the website framework that the organization is maintaining is not that really strong. When your framework is really strong, nobody can intrude into your web server. So that is very important here. So what are the phases we do? Identification phase, where you collect the evidences, you check the evidences. The second will be acquisition phase. Once you acquire the information of the with that evidence, you will make up the and you will back up the entire data with the forensic team. Like, you keep everything ready. Analyze phase. Once you keep everything ready, you examine the evidences very closely. Like, for example, I give the laptop saying like someone robbed the data. So you examine the data, including the fingerprints. Is it only me who used this, or who else has used this? Apart from that, what are the devices that got connected? All these things. In case if some data is deleted, what sort of data, how is it deleted, from which network, how much time they were there on the system. All these things will be retrieved. And reporting phase. Now, when I say about evidence examination or analysis, it's very crucial stage, where one has to be very patient enough in understanding this. For example, many of the youngsters doesn't know, when they start working with the companies, even though during the induction they mention this, the people neglect. So after joining the company, by fate or luck, luckily Google will work for them in few companies. So they will open some information on Google. Now, what information have you opened is clearly found by the networking team. The team who sits inside, not the networking team who connects the RJ45, not that networking team who checks whether a computer is getting internet or not. This is a network forensic expert team who sits in a company as a chief information security officer. They keep getting updates, who is browsing which website, who is browsing what information. In case if you connect the pen drive, automatically a pop-up comes at that particular system to the CIO or CISO or his team saying Karthik has just plugged in a pen drive or an external USB device into this particular computer. Now immediately you will get an email asking you to meet them in person. Why did you connect this? What is the work? What are you trying to collect from office to home? Why do you want to copy the data? A lot of questions we need to answer. So this is the job of a forensic expert in a company. If you're looking to become a chief information security officer, or get into the team as a network forensic expert, digital forensic expert, system forensic expert, or software application forensic expert, every moment you work like a spy and you collect all the details and submit the evidences. What is the main goal of computer forensic? It's not just about to find the criminal, but also to find out the evidences and the presentation of evidence in a proper manner. Simple. It's not just needed. If you know how to drive a car, it's not just easy. Even if you know, it's all important how rightly you know to drive a car. If you are able to speak, it's not just enough. How rightly you are able to speak is very important. At the end, when we look at the cybercrime, this is what happens. Cybercrime occurs when information technology is used to commit an offense. Criminal activities carried out by means of computers or internet. These days, if you look at the statistics of cyber crimes, they are more than physical crimes. One of my relative, he also he's my cousin. He got affected by OLX fraud. and they lost 40K, 40,000 in a span of 2 minutes. That was a small mistake this fellow has done, and they have done it. What are the things that you see? Breach of computer security, fraud, copyright violations, identity theft, narcotic investigation. Narcotic is a very, very serious thing. I mean, like, I've seen it lively. Threats, burglary, suicide, etc., 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 stalking. Now, when you look at all these crimes that are happening through cyber, now you think how secured are your devices, or imagine how secured are you, or how safe it is to post your photographs, personal information on a social portal. You don't know who is intruding into your computer. You don't know who is monitoring into your computer. You don't know who is actually working on your computer. Then how is that we are safe? As long as you are authenticated to learn, as long as you are authenticated to use the application, you are very, very, very safe to use all these things. What I suggest everyone today is to learn these courses. Make sure that you are a part of such digital policing team where you learn cyber forensic, cyber security expert methods, and then be a part of that team where you learn the things in a very better way. So any data that is recorded or preserved or any medium in or by a computer system or that's other similar device that can be read or understood by a person or a computer system or other similar device. Today I just need I say that from this particular iPod, I have some crucial photographs which have been stolen by someone. I'll tell you a small example how this incident has happened. Now, this particular phone, what I'm using, this has a facial recognition. This has a facial recognition. Now, when this has a facial recognition, one of my relative's son, a small kid, 4 years old, he said, "Uncle, I wanted to play with your phone. I need to download some games." I said, "No, beta, I cannot give you my phone because I know what it has." So he said, "Okay." And he tried when I was sleeping. So he got to know that there is a passcode and there is a security feature. The mistake what I have done is I have included the passcode. I have also included the face recognition. So after 1 hour time, when I was badly sleeping, he came to me. He woke me up. Without his knowledge, he just kept the phone in front of me and said, "Uncle, how do you enter this passcode?" I widely opened the eyes and said, "I'm not giving you this phone. You just keep it there because I'm sleeping." If I would have taken that phone, that would have been different. So I've just said that because it was right in front of me. I was saying, okay, he is not getting the passcode. He will not open the phone. In that sleepy mode, I left it. When I woke up, I saw that he is playing with my phone. How was that possible? Artificial intelligence. The face was recognized by the phone and he found that okay. And he told me, "Uncle, when you woke up, I just kept your phone and the phone got unlocked." Whatever the technology we are finding today in the market, my dear friends, at the end I wanted to tell you a few points. The reason many of the experts have been doing sessions on ethical hacking, but very few people are doing sessions on cyber forensic. The reason being, we have a lot of technologies in market today. I can be an ethical hacking expert, forensic expert using artificial intelligence, AWS. Okay, I can be with even I can write a basic programming in forensic using for ethical hacking to hack a computer using C, C++ or Java. I can do all these things, but technology usage, to what extent we are correctly using it. Today you see a lot of robots directly helping the hospitals. Today you see a lot of technologies that are being helping the people in terms of drones to analyze and collect a lot of details. But when it comes to devices, how many of us are very securely using it? How many of us have antivirus on our mobiles? How many of us are protecting this from various malware? How many of you are protecting your desktops, laptops, computers, tablets? This is more important. I'll show you certain tools here before I go with Wireshark. So cybercrime occurs when information technology is used to commit an offense and criminal activities in means of computers. What are the digital evidences? Now you started collecting evidences physically. Digitally, what are the evidences we have? Persistent data, meaning data that remains intact with the computer is turned off. Example, hard disk drives and removable. So for example, if I connect this disk or a pen drive to my laptop, once I switch it off and again switch it on, still the data is there in it. Still I'll be able to see the data. It's not getting erased. it is in my flash drive or a pen drive or hard disk. Even if the computer is turned off, it is not getting erased. Volatile data, data that would be lost if the computer is turned off. Now, I'll show you that image also now in some time. I'll show you that image. Just give me 1 minute. See, when you look at this particular image here, when you see on the screen, I'll show it in a bigger mode. You see a lot of statistics on the information scrolling here. Or let me make it this way here. I'm just trying to show you a process that happens. If I'm not wrong, you'll be able to see whatever I'm trying to do. I'm getting onto the task manager to show you a process, how it works. See, I'm getting onto task manager here. Here, you see this. This is all a volatile data. Like as long as the computer is running, you will be able to see what all applications are working on your computer, what sort of data is being consumed by your system in terms of RAM, memory, space, everything. So I've been there on any disk since a long time. It has taken 22 MB of memory. I've been there on Google Chrome since yesterday. Till now it has consumed 250.9 MB. Like this, lot of data is seen over here. I can see the performance of this. See this data? All this information I can see now. But the moment I restart the computer, I'll not be able to see the same data. This is volatile. That means once the device is completely turned off, that is when we'll not be able to see. It is not a permanent data, it is an erasable data. Now when I'm like this, okay, if something happens, some breach happens, I may not be able to get to know. But a real-time cybersecurity expert or a forensic expert will be able to know using these timestamps what has happened. I will be again able to see whatever the performances have been done till now. Rules of evidences, there are certain rules: admissible, authentic, complete, no tunnel vision, reliable and believable. So admissible is like must be able to be used in the court or elsewhere. So that means it should be in a format, a predefined format where court will be able to see that in that particular format only. Authentication or authentic is evidence relates to instance in a relevant way. When I'm talking about cyber forensic, I should speak about cyber forensic. I cannot get into AI and stuck there, right? So be relevant. Whatever the incident has happened, submit the evidence which is really relevant to that particular case. If a murder has happened and if a mobile device is found in that particular location, submit the data in relevance to these two. Do not bring in someone who is nowhere related to that case and then try to including him into this. Submit some relevant data first where the basic understanding can be done. Complete. Exculpatory evidence for alternative suspects. Apart from this, if any other. Now as I said, if someone else is involved, now get him in. Reliable. No question about authenticity or veracity. Now believable, clear, easy to understand and believable by a jury. Now whatever the evidences we submit to a court or a law or to the department, they should be very, 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 very close and intact and very clear. So Karthik has collected these details. What did he do? He went to the scene of offense. He collected the laptop. He collected the information about the network. Whatever the time the laptop was connected, he found that whoever got connected over the network with that particular laptop, then who picked the laptop, where was the laptop dropped, what was done on that particular laptop, and what sort of damage has happened, and how data can be retrieved or what cannot be retrieved also should be given. There are certain situations where data cannot be retrieved if it is a brutal damage. So even that should be mentioned, and all these in a defined format should be submitted to the court of law, and that really helps us, the court to clear the cases easily. Where are the evidences found? Now for example, if you say that I have used WhatsApp, I have chatted with a girl and deleted all their photographs or data or everything. Say for example this has been done. So you think that one will say, okay, now everything is clear, nobody can identify. We have certain applications. Give you a phone, let the application use the phone for hardly half an hour, 1 hour time. We'll pull out the entire history of whatever discussions have happened. Internet history, managing the history. If you open the history, you'll be able to see whatever the sites you have browsed, at what time, for how much time, temporary internet files, unallocated spaces, we have seen just now. Personal chat rooms. Earlier there used to be chat messengers, Yahoo Messenger, right? News groups. Even now we have a lot of chat rooms. Unfortunately, there were certain chat rooms that were created in New Delhi recently, where boys' room, the young boys were just in 10 plus 2 or beyond that. They created chat rooms and they just did a lot of brutal activities there, analyzing, understanding how a girl can be raped or what sort of damage can be done to a girl. And one mistake they have done is they created this room on Instagram and they were inviting people. So one of the secret intelligence team, they got into that room, came to know about it, and that's when they captured. So let me make it very simple. You don't know who is spying on you from which end. You don't know which network is spying you. Today there is a huge intelligence that is running on cyber. All these, whatever you see on the screen, settings, photo structures, file names, file data. Now, whatever we are trying to see on the cyber, it is being monitored by a digital team officially by the government of India. If a person, see, if you observe recently in Tamil Nadu, there were a lot of people who were arrested during COVID time who were watching most of the time who were there on pornography sites. How did these people get to know? That means there is a tool which helps these people to understand using certain set of keywords and SQL codes that okay, this site has been opened or this particular keywords have been found on Google. Let me get all the details of the people who typed this, who are all active, who are all for how much time, and get me their statistics. Chalo, catch hold of them. It's very simple. Everything can be found out. Only thing is we are not aware of it. Software or hardware added. Now, when you open certain websites over Google Chrome, it will prompt you add this particular extension to your website, which will protect your Chrome. I mean, which will protect your browser. If you go and add that particular extension, it will create another browser like Google Chrome, which looks blue in color, which is actually not a secured one. So do not add unwanted extensions, whatever you see on the browser page. Do not download unwanted applications, whatever you see on a Play Store or even on Google, because you are allowing a third party to intrude. File sharing ability, as I just said, if you wanted to be into, you want to share your system to someone, unless or until you trust them completely, you don't share. If not, you ask them to give the share code and you get into their computer, check their computer, and then only you copy the information. You have the ability or you have the right to do that. Emails, do not respond to any such emails. Many people have got cheated, like emails on jobs, emails on lotteries, emails on money. On Facebook, we see just drop in your name and mobile number, we'll send you 10,000 millions. Who is he going to go give you 10,000 millions? After that, you'll get an email asking for your bank information. Now, if this fraud happens, it's a big work for the evidences team, the forensic team. They have to sit on every single network. They have to identify from where, when, why, who, what, all these things. Trust me, this gives a real energy to work on this forensic. If you're becoming a forensic expert, you will really enjoy this particular field. What are the skills required finally? Programming or computer related experience. As I said, if you're good with Linux, Ubuntu, even if basics of C++ or C programming or Java, or if you're good with application usage like Wireshark or AutoSpy, okay, you can use all these things. And then I'll show you the tools here which can be used for these are some of the tools here. Just give me a minute. See the best tools. Number one, autopsy. Okay, encrypted disk detector, Wireshark. The biggest challenge with these tools is you can download, but to understand them how they work, it takes ample time. It is not that easy to understand. It's not a general help which will help you to understand how the tool works. Because if you want to use all these tools, the basic knowledge you need to have is to know about the computer or the RAM or the network or the application, primarily in-depth knowledge about them. Unless or until you know the in-depth knowledge about all of these basics, you cannot use any of these tools. And trust me, these are not used for hacking. All these tools are used for protection and evidence collection in case of a crime. These are just used to monitor. See, for example, I'll show you Wireshark. I'll show you in some time. So broad understanding of operating system applications, as I said just now. Many of us friends, we put it on our resume that what technical skills you have. Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows XP. Now when I start asking questions on Windows 10, okay, where do you find control panel on Windows 10? Or where do you change adapter settings on Windows 10? Or where do you go and manage your hard disk properties? Or how do you create a new console on your system where you manage your devices or hard disk partitions, many people will go blank. I'll show you how to get it. I'll show you how to create a new console, or rather how to go ahead and check with this. Just give me one quick minute. Now under this, if you type MMC, you see this what is going to happen. I'm really sorry, this is Windows 10 I'm using, and this really works very slower with just a 4 GB RAM. Now this is MMC command, right? Now I'm going to open this particular command. I hope everyone are able to see this. Now it will ask for a permission. You want to allow this? Yes, allow. When I say allow, now here comes the screen for MMC console. This is a very general console. A console is like console, and it means it's an output screen. What you see, the screen on which you see the results is console. Now what I do here, right click on the console, new window from here. I got another new window. Now I'll go to the file, add or remove snap-in. What is that I wanted to have on this particular console? I'm trying to show here. Now I say I would like to work on device manager. I wanted to create a new console and see what are the devices I have and how am I able to manage them. Now I got it here. You see I added the device manager, and I came here. When I click on the device manager, who will do this? When you're creating the operating system, when you're into investigating something, that's when we'll be able to go with this apart from the existing one. Now these are the devices that are available on my particular computer. When I say display adapters, I have got the drivers here. Now this is something which I have done through a console option. See what action to be taken. Now usually why do you use this tool? When you are not able to use your drivers properly, when you are able to update, when you need to update your drivers, that's when you go to the manage drivers option. Now what action to be done? Scan for hardware changes, devices and printers, add legacy hardware, view devices in what mode, all these things you see. Now if I say keyboard, now let me just try to manipulate with something. Yeah, I have this soft hand text software devices. See, you see here I have added my Amazon Fire Stick. Now I'll click on this. I can say update the driver or disable this device. If I disable this device, I'll not be able to project this screen onto my computer, or I'll not be able to plug in Amazon Fire Stick on my system and then use Amazon Fire Stick for seeing anything, right? So I'll close this. This is a console way. In general, where do you find this option? In one of the interviews last week, one person said, I would like to get into cyber security, sir. I'm very good with computer knowledge. Then I asked him, how do you find the, how do you get to know what operating system you have, how much RAM you have, what is the processor speed you have on your computer? He took time for about 6 to 8 minutes. He could not speak out. And he's from BTech Computer Science. Sorry to say this. I don't say everyone, but many are like that, because that's what he mentioned on his resume. Now, if you want to know, first of all, what is the operating system you have on your computer, just go open your Windows Explorer, right click on this PC and say properties. Now you see that my computer is having all this, how much processor, memory, blah, 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 lot of information, right? And this is a copyrighted version. Of course, this is a legal version. Now, if I go to device manager, you will be able to see what I have shown you on MMS console, right? So this is what it is. This is by default given in this, but if you wanted to work as a forensic expert in analyzing by connecting some new devices or to understand what happened with other network, that is when you will start using this. Now let us come back to this quickly. We are almost there at the end. Strong computer forensic fundamentals. You need to know the forensic fundamentals. You need to have administrative skills. You need to have the knowledge of intrusion tools, cryptography, all this. Wireshark. This is a software which I would like to show, which actually captures the packets of data in as much details as possible. It will help you to understand who all were there in your network, or how much time were you there on the network, what are the activities done on the network. It will collect the information in terms of packets of data, and it will show you the entire information. So I'll show you how it looks like. So intended purpose, here are some of the reasons why we use Wireshark. Network administrators use it to troubleshoot network problems. Network security engineers use it to examine security problems. QA engineers, quality analyst engineers use it to verify network applications. Developers use it to debug protocol implementations. People use it to learn network protocol internals. However, whatever happens on network, you are going to use this particular tool, and this is how it looks like. Wireshark captures packets and lets you examine their contents. I'll lively show you. Okay. Finally, Wireshark is not an intrusion detection system. It is not going to identify if something has happened. It is not going to intrude into any system for a false activity. It will not warn you if something strange happens on your network. However, if something happens, it will help you to figure out what exactly is going on. Now, for example, if your Wi-Fi password is not secured, if someone is accessing your Wi-Fi, you see that your Wi-Fi speed is drastically going down. Now that's when you can use Wireshark to analyze how many devices are connected on this, where and all the packets are going, where is the huge data of packets is going. Okay, Wireshark doesn't send packets on the network or do other active things except domain name resolution. It will collect the information and it will show you where and all it is going actually. Wireshark will not manipulate things on the network, it will only measure things from it. Now, in order to make career in this, you need to have a bachelor's degree or forensic, a bachelor's degree in terms of cyber security or forensic and digital investigation. You can have masters in it. You can do certifications. In case if you are a BTech or an MTech background or any background to that matter, BSc, you need not worry about bachelor's and masters. You can still go on to a certification program, something like a PGDM, which is offered by many companies. In fact, many corporates like Cisco, IBM are offering these courses. Even if you become an employee with them, you can still do, or you can learn and then become an employee with them. And the average salary for a cybersecurity specialist today in the market starts at 45 to 55,000. Few companies are paying less, but majority of the companies pay very, very, very high. And there is a huge requirement of 3.5 million cybersecurity experts by 2021. These are some of the coolest jobs which you find in cybersecurity. Digital forensic analyst, penetration tester, pen tester we call, application pen tester again, security operation analyst, SOC. Different SOCs are there again in it. So cyber defender, hunter like incident responder, security architect, secure software development manager, malware analyst, technical director, or CISO, chief information security officer. Right? So I would like to demonstrate quickly this Wireshark. Okay, you see this is how the Wireshark console looks like. Once you install Wireshark, this will help you. According to my system, according to my network, it is showing all these options here. You see that local area connection 1, 2, all these options. I have a Bluetooth. So however I get connected, I am currently on Wi-Fi, so I have an Ethernet facility and everything. Now you see a button here. I'm trying to capture the options. Now I'll get to know what is all happening on my particular network. Now if I start this, I can stop it at any point of time to whatever the time I need. Now for example, I click this. What do you want to? I'm on my Wi-Fi. Start. Let's see what is going to happen here. See this. You see? When you look at the statistics here, okay, this is the destination. What is this destination? Where is this getting stored? This is not my IP address. This is not my IP address because it is not working from this. This is actually working from a different server. So whatever we are trying to deliver right now, this is coming from this particular. This is going to the destination with the IP address of 192.168.1.8. Okay. In between, since I'm verifying other portals also, it is changing. So see now, when I click on this, you see information related to this interface name, interface description is Wi-Fi, arrival time, at what time did this happen? This happened at when? 12:49 now, Indian Standard Time. Time shift for this packet. Protocols in frame. all this. Friends, in order to know or understand this particular tool, if you want to learn cyber forensic, it takes at least 15 days to be a proper expert, 15 days to 1 month. But if you learn to learn all these things, it keeps continuously. See, now I'm not stopping it. If you look at this, it is still scrolling, it is still working, it is acquiring. See the sequence. What is the sequence it is following? And then malformed packets, what type of packets it is receiving. See, if you just look at the commands everywhere here, accordingly it is executing. And here, now I take the statistics, capture file properties. Till now, whatever has been considered, see, name. Now this data I can give it to someone in case if my network is hacked by now. I can keep up this data and I can say what is the hardware, OS, application, Wi-Fi interface, how many packets are dropped, nothing, so everything has been fine. Capture filter, nothing. Link type Ethernet, packet size limit, this many bytes, how many packets have been captured, in what time span, okay, and how many bytes, average packet size, displayed, everything. You get a complete statistics of all these things. You can analyze, see, display filter macros. This has been highlighted here, see, in the blue. Lot of options, so you can start learning. But one thing I would like to advise everyone here, before I end up this discussion, if you really wanted to make a career in cyber forensic, if you want to really make a career in terms of cyber security or ethical hacking, trust me, it really takes a little time to learn, but you need to be very, very secured, and you need to assure that you are not going to misuse the data. Nowadays, every company, there are a lot of career opportunities, but majority of the companies are hiring people with 3 technologies. Number 1, cyber skills. It can be an ethical hacking expert, it can be a forensic expert, or any of these options you have just seen. One with artificial intelligence, the other with IoT, and also with machine learning, like in terms of data analytics. But data analytics can be done with all this. Again, if you are good with AI, you can be a part of cyber security. If you are good with machine learning, you can be a part of cyber security. If you are good with IoT, you can apply cyber security in IoT, or you can learn cyber security and apply it in IoT. IoT cyber security is the most hot cake, I should say. And then you should also be able to learn different applications. You can do a basic programming in C or C++ using or even for using Java for this forensic, and you can just work on a lot of analysis. You can use R, you can use Python, all these things. So those who are seriously interested, if you wanted to learn, you can just drop in your emails, or you can ask Anil Garu. So I'll send you some information like how can you be a better forensic expert, what are the things you should learn, what certifications are you supposed to do. And trust me, the packages are not going to be the same like what you get for a normal software engineer. The salaries are going to be somewhat bigger. So my one suggestion to all of you, when you're about to pass out from your colleges with a graduation, you be prepared or be ready with the technologies that the world is looking for. The world is looking for people with cybersecurity knowledge, with artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, especially in AWS, and then cloud computing. If you want to be a data analyst, these are the hotcakes. Just be prepared with this and get it done. And we have experts who can help you. And I can also guide you to get you certified in all these things. Where should you go for certification? And certification would cost you somewhere around 10 to 15,000, a minimum of. But if you spend that, you are going to be into a huge network. Presently, I'm doing training for 15 people on cybersecurity and ethical hacking. They're about to complete their certification, and I'm hiring 3 out of them because for my own projects. So there's a scope for everyone to be a part of this vertical in this industry across the globe. Only thing is you need to be patient enough to learn the forensic science, to learn digital forensic, to learn cybersecurity aspect, in fact, to learn the upgraded needed technologies and try to be a part of it. So again, thank Balaji and Anil for giving an opportunity to be a part of this session today, and I hope this was useful. And please, my dear friends, do not get down or do not let you go down. Even though this is a hard time, you still have opportunities. Try to spend 1 or 2 hours in a day to learn some new skill, and by the time COVID relaxes to some extent, the market opens, then you are the one who should be ready. Just get a logo on the top of your resume which says he is certified, and that makes a big difference. Just don't come out with a BTech or a BSc or a BCom graduation and say that I'm a passed out guy. Many passed outs are sitting in Amirpet, but only those who meant or who dreamed about their job, who wanted to be someone unique, they did certifications, they spent the money, and they came out with a productive outcome, and today they are directly in the companies with high paid salaries. Even today Cisco is hiring, IBM is hiring, Tech Mahindra is hiring, but they all need certified people. They just don't need people who come from a normal course. Certification is very different from certificate. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much again. Thanks for being a part of this particular session. And that's all from my end for today. Thank you very much.